Good evening, beloveds. So the challenge of being ADHD, which apparently I'm not really attention deficit, I'm mostly hyperactive, is that we're really good at procrastination until we're not. And so since I'm working really hard to catch my YouTube channel up, mostly because I'm really excited about the book and because I'm behind, I've been working, pretty dedicatedly to get the videos moved from Facebook. And I keep coming across videos that Facebook ate. January 12th, Facebook ate it. Most likely what happened was I was in a hurry. I may have clicked out of the app too quick. And if you click out of the app too quick on your phone, it doesn't save the video. So here we are. It's in March. I'm sorry, I don't even know what month I'm in. I'm in April, going back and doing a video. And I remember the title. So I'm just like, all right, but here we are. Here we are. Hopefully it's useful. I mean, it will be to me because I'll get it up on my channel in order. So, I'm not going to wait until next January to do it. I'm just going to redo the thing. Normally I put redo in the title and I forgot because it was so long. All right. It is January 12th. Our title is I See the Good in Everyone and in Every Event. The first quote is, "For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion hath light with darkness?" And that is 2 Corinthians 6:14. The second quote is, "Not God, but ye yourselves are the creators and supporters of moral evils." And that's from the Talmud. Very pointed, I might add. "Light can have no union with darkness. Evil has no affinity with good. If good is the great reality, while evil is the great negation or denial of reality, then it follows that we should see the good in everything and recognize the apparent evil merely as a theoretical opposite of good. There is not God and something else. The divine spirit inhabits eternity, overshadows everything, including human events. It indwells our own life and is released through our own act. To see God as evil is to becloud our vision, to obstruct the pathways of our progress, and to cast a shadow across the sun of righteousness. This spiritual sun was the guiding light which led the Magi of old to the place where the little child lay. It leads us today to the place of good in our life, to the presence of God at the center of every person's being. The humbleness of the major represents the simplicity in every person's life. It is here in ordinary things that we must find the good, and finding it here, we shall also discover it in the larger issues of our experience. We shall discover that the larger issues of our experiences are overshadowed by the same good which we have discovered in the commonplace. I resolve today to see the good in everyone and every event. I call upon the good and refuse to accept anything other than the good in my experience. In this way, I embody the good through consciously meditating upon it." And that is Ernest Holmes. If you had any question with a title like that, it was Ernest Holmes. Now, the interesting thing is, and I may have said this in January, because in December, when we divided up the Christmas service, Jesse thoroughly loves having the two ministers and the minister to be. So he said, everybody gets 10 minutes. And then the three of us took like between 6 and 8 minutes. And so Jesse took the rest. And talked for a little bit longer, but he's a senior minister. That's his right. But we divided up the Christmas story, and I said, I want the stable. I want the manger, because I had read this really neat article that pointed out why Jesus was born in a manger. Because if Jesus had been born in a palace, nobody would have had access to him. If Jesus had been born in the family rooms Only the family would have had access to him. Jesus was not born in either of those. Jesus was born in the stable. Now, the theory is, from this article, that the homes in Israel at that time were 2-story homes, and the top floor held the living spaces where the family lived, and the bottom spaces were the working spaces. They had the workshops and the stables where everybody was welcome. And that was the point of Jesus being born in the stable. Jesus was born in the stable so that everyone would have access to him. Not just the family, not just the rich people, if we're going to talk palace. And so that's one of the things that Ernest is touching on here. It's the humbleness of the stable. The manger was not the humbleness of Jesus, but the access to Jesus. That was the point of that story, is that absolutely everybody, every living thing on this earth has access to the Christ consciousness. Because he was born, Jesus, who arguably has made the best use of the Christ consciousness of anybody born in the entire world and throughout all of time, made the best use of that Christ consciousness. And it also touches a little bit on the fact that, because he says it's not God and something else. Okay? Too many times, and this is where you might get a little bit of, I accuse Emma and some of the other ladies of hardball metaphysics. Well, I'm about to be hardball metaphysics. Okay? According to Ernest Holmes, there is not God and something else. That means that evil is not a power in and of itself. There is God, which means there is good. There is one power. It is the use that we make of that power. If I can quote Shakespeare, it is thinking that makes it so. It is the use that we make of that power that determines if it's good or evil. So we don't get this out of the devil made us do it, because there is no devil. There is no power that is co-equal to God. Are there people that lead us astray? Absolutely. But we still made the choice. So, and that's why I'm saying the hardball metaphysics. It's like, when you come into science of mind, one of the things that we are going to straight up tell you is there's a whole lot of personal responsibility in this teaching. There is one power, and it is a power for good, because it is of good by good. But it is the use that we make of it that we have to answer for. And yes, there are people in our lives, and because that's one of the things that we have to deal with, is that we do not walk through this life by ourselves. We walk through this life in relation with other people, relationships with other people. And so yes, occasionally we will make mistakes, and we will make mistaken choices, and we will let people lead us astray. But there's no power out there trying to lead us astray. There is only one power. So, if we are going to see the good in everyone and in every situation, what we have to recognize is that in the end, it is all God. It is all God. There is nothing else. We were made by God, of God, for God. There is nothing but spirit. The messiness in the material world, those are the choices we've made. God didn't do that, which means it's up to us to fix it. One of my favorite memes that I occasionally will refer back to is Jesus sitting on the park bench with another person, and the other person going to Jesus going, well, why have you let all of this happen? War, famine, what have you? And Jesus looking at that other person going, well, why have you let all this happen? Okay? The fear in us is not that we are weak. The fear in us is of the power that we have. We absolutely have the power to change our lives. But we have to make the decision. And then we have to put action behind that decision. Thoughts and prayers mean absolutely nothing if there's not action behind them, if there's not follow-up. And so we can treat all we want, but until we move our feet, we're not actually activating that power. Now, there are going to occasionally be situations that we are going to walk into where the only choice we have is how we feel about the situation. But it's a place to start. And we can choose, well, you know what? I don't like this situation. So then what am I going to do about it? I'm going to start looking for opportunities. All right. Too often we spend too much time looking at obstacles rather than looking for opportunities. So if we're going to see the good in the situation, and here's where I'm going to remind you that no matter what situation you find yourself in, there is always going to be good in it because you are there and you are good. You are a beloved child of God. So no matter what situation you find you're in, there will always be good there. Now, I am not telling you to walk into a messy situation and say, all right, well, now let's look for the good in that. You know, that isn't always helpful. In fact, frequently it's not. It's when we get through to the other side of the situations where we can look back and see the lessons that we learned. And then we can pull the wheat from the chaff and learn, okay, what good did I get out of this situation? But when we're in it, we can always look at ourselves and know, you know what? There's good. And when we look at each other, the idea is to see that every living being, notice how I said every living being. I didn't see every person. So I'm talking about the trees, the animals, and all of that too, are children of God. Every living being is of God. Every living being is good. Now, that does not mean you are not going to come across people who have forgotten who they are and are behaving badly. And it does not mean you have to stick around and see the good in them. What you can say is, I know that you are a beloved child of God. I will know that you are a beloved child of God from a safe distance. And when you remember who you are, then we can talk. But you do not have to put up with people who have forgotten who they are. You do have to recognize them and see them as beloved children of God. But you don't have to put yourself within their reach. All right? I'm always want to make that point clear, especially to women, because we have been expected to put up with bad behavior because we are kind and nurturing and what have you. No. You can know that they are a beloved child of God from a safe distance. Please do so. So, the title of the talk was to see good in every person, in everyone, and every event. So, please see good in everyone. But in situations where they have forgotten who they are and they are behaving badly, do it from a safe place. Please see good in every event, if for no other reason than you are there and you have brought the good with you. But please don't crow that from the rooftops when you are in the middle of it with other people, because they will not appreciate it. But when you have the opportunity to sit down later and debrief and look around, learn the lessons that a messy situation taught you. When things are good, it's easy. But that's not the work we're called to do. The work we are called to do is to deal with messiness. And we have the power to do it. And more importantly, we have the ability and the obligation. Jesus came here to teach us the power that we have. And that power is called love. And we can do amazing things with love. And we don't have to put ourselves in danger to do it. So don't do that. All right? Oh, this is what happens when I'm redoing talks and doing it kind of late at night. I'm going to speak my truth. And I'm going to do it in that Southern accent that I don't know where it comes from. Well, that's not true. I spent 10 years in Georgia. I know exactly where that accent comes from. So, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, It's right there in Ernest's title. To see the good in everyone and in every event. That is the mission. That is the mission every single day. And it's helpful to remember that we carry the good with us. Now, the other part of the mission every day is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Especially if you are going to be doing this kind of work where you are looking for the good. All right? Loving, kind, and compassionate. Practice on yourself. I don't hide the fact that this is absolutely a spiritual practice about self-care. If you are going to live a life of service, then you must take care of yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So you take care of yourself, then you can help everybody else. All right? And I'm encouraging you to create a habit. It is a spiritual practice where every day you spend a little bit of time with the source of your own being. You create a well-worn path, which creates a habit of a first response so that no matter what happens, you can respond lovingly, kindly, and compassionately. The easiest suggestion that I can give you for love, kindness, and compassion is to take a deep breath before you speak. Because it will keep you from saying things that you shouldn't. I am Southern. My family is Southern. I was raised mostly in the South. Now, I have traveled, and I have traveled a lot and widely. So, take a deep breath before you speak. Take a walk. Take a nap. Sometimes the best thing we can do is turn ourselves off and turn ourselves back on. Make that regular trip to the source of your own being. And it will never set you wrong. It will never, you will never go the wrong way. If you have a well-worn path to the source of your own being, to the source of infinite love, the source of infinite kindness, the source of infinite compassion, you'll never go wrong. You'll never go wrong. All right. I also want to remind you that one of the qualities of God is joy. So in this spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself, that also looks like making room for joy. You have every right to be happy and to be joyful. Maybe not 100% of the time, because, nobody can sustain that 100% at the time. But make room for it in your life. Your life is a special occasion. We may only come this way once. Let's celebrate it. And let's do the things like eating dessert first. It took me a little while to realize it. And definitely losing Ruth was part of that. Is that when I say eat dessert first, yes, I do literally mean it. But I also mean it in the metaphorical sense of make room for joy. Every day. Every day. Every day. Okay. I'm going to move on. There are other suggestions that I give you that are straight up self-care. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you today. Drink plenty of water. I used to say fluids. I pretty much settled on water. As long as water is the base of it. Hydration is important. Your brain works better when you're well hydrated. Your skin looks better when you're well hydrated. So drink plenty of water. I do encourage you also to get early in your day bright light. What I am talking about, it's called a circadian rhythm. It is a natural hormone cycle. And that early in your day bright light helps to reset that cycle. You'll have more energy during the day. You'll sleep better at night. It's a thing. Trust me, you can look it up. It's science. And then I have this Ernest Holmes quote. I don't remember what book I got it from, but I am going to keep it forever. This is my Ernest Holmes quote. Because trust me, every Science of Mind minister has one. This is mine. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. Okay? As I said earlier, if it is of God, by God, for God, if it is all God, then we already live in heaven. But then I quoted Shakespeare. It's thinking that makes it so. Heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. And as soon as you learn to create it for yourself, it's a superpower. It's a straight up superpower. Because as soon as you learn to do it for yourself, nobody can take it away from you. You can create heaven any place. And with regular spiritual practice, you can create heaven every place. And what does opening the windows of your soul look like? It looks like being authentic. It looks like being earnest. It looks like being honest. It looks like looking for the good in everyone. It looks like looking for the good in everything. It looks like love and creativity and joy and happiness and action. If belief is, if treatment is thought wrapped in, if prayer is thought wrapped in emotion, what do you think heaven is? Make that pilgrimage. Make that pilgrimage every single day to the source of your own being. Learn that. Learn that skill, that state of mind, that state of consciousness. And then hold your light up. I just saw one earlier today that said people who have found the light within don't need the spotlight. Find the light within. That's heaven. That's heaven. State of mind, state of consciousness. All right? And you could always, always, always take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. It's a great way to go. It's a great way to go. I like to look for the little goods because they add up to big goods, but I will not turn my nose up at big goods. All right? So, there is that. I think I'm at the part now where I would remind you about the social medias. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. We have we both have YouTube channels. So Creative Life Spiritual Center and the Running Rev Ryan have YouTube channels, which is why I'm redoing this talk from January, because I'm working on my YouTube channel. And there is great stuff on both of them. There are almost 3 full books up on the Running Rev Ryan daily readings, 365s. And there's a lot of great content. And we just learned to do skill. So we will start moving older stuff up onto the Creative Life YouTube channel. So my intention is to get some of Reverend Marsha's up. I just need a few pictures. So, of Reverend Marsha, which means I need to contact David. Okay. Just reminded myself of something I need to do, which is not tonight because it is too late tonight. All right, beloveds. I'm going to remind you, if you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. That is a constant contact. The hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it will take you right to the information you want, i.e. the soul session playlists. If you're interested in our soul session, if you're watching, yeah, we've got lots of great soul sessions. I'm just going to stop now. Or to the person that can help you get it. So please avail yourself of that constant contact. Avail yourself of the social media that we have. We try and keep it light, bright, funny, and enlightening. So, all right. I guess I'm at the part where I will encourage you, depending on what time of day you are watching this, to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a looking for the good day, a looking for the opportunities day, a practicing my spiritual principles, a recognizing that it is all good day, knowing who I am day, knowing who you are day, a good day. If that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are, as I have said before and will continue to say, a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are a godling, in whom God is well represented. Remember that you may be the only the only Bible that some people read.
show them the God of your understanding. The God of my understanding is love. And that God, the God of love, has had some really good teachers, Jesus being one of them. So, that's who I aspire. I aspire to be a teacher like that. All right. The usual other rigmarole that I would normally say if I was on the Creative Life Spiritual Center Facebook page, which I'm not, would be to remind you. And so if you're watching this, Reverend David is on our Facebook, the Creative Life Spiritual Center Facebook live around 5 p.m. I am on that same Facebook, Creative Life Spiritual Center Facebook live around 9 a.m. every single day. All right. Please feel free to avail yourself of that. And then I'm going to remind you to take care of yourself, know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.